What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Mark Roden, and today we have a pretty long video. I'm assuming it's probably gonna be a pretty long video, but it took me a very long time to make it because I wanted to get it all right. And so today we're going to give you the history of Nissan slash Datsun, whatever one you want to call it. They're pretty much the same, and they're actually back. Datsun's back now, by the way. Did you know that they're still building cars now out in India again? That's pretty cool. But anyway, we're going to be giving you the whole history on this car, and who knows, maybe this can be a new mini series, but definitely don't expect this to be like an every video series because it takes a long time to make these. Like it took me like 4 hours just to write up the script. I can only imagine how long it's going to take to edit, and it's probably going to take like 15 minutes only really to film, but still, it takes a while, so don't expect it like every day. But if you do enjoy it, let me know what like car company you guys like to see the history of next, and I'll make it happen. But anyway, guys, if you want to support the channel any more than you already are, head on over to www.smoothstance.com/shop, and with that out of the way, let's talk about the history of Nissan. Alright, so in order to even begin to talk about where Nissan started as a company, we have to talk about another company called Datsun. And Datsun was a company that was founded in 1911 by a man named Masahiro Hashimoto, who established what was called the Kwaishinsha Company. I'm going to say it right now. There's a lot of Japanese names in here that I'm going to mispronounce, and so I'm sorry for that. Anyway, the K Company actually produced its first car in 1914, and it went by the name Dot Car, or Dot Go in Japanese. This man, Hashimoto, we're going to call him Hashimoto. This man, Hashimoto, then decides he wants more money and opportunities, obviously, because my boy was chasing the bag. So in 1931, he merges with another company called the Tabata Foundry Company. Once again, I don't know if that's how I pronounce it, which they in turn help him produce his next car, which happened to go by the name Dot Sun, or Son of Dot in English, which is later changed to be named, of course, Datsun. Yes, baby, that's where the name Datsun comes from. This man made a car named Datsun, and then they changed it to Datsun. In 1933, they built the first actual Datsun car, and it was named the Datsun 12. It's a boring car, has a very boring name for the car, so let's move on. Only 1 year later, in 1934, they changed the name of the company to be called Nissan Motors. But Nissan Motors are still producing Datsun cars. Think of it how like Volkswagen owns Bugatti, but they're still Bugatti cars. Nissan was just there for the funds, while they were still making, the name was still Datsun at the time. In the same year, 1934, with the financial support of all the other big companies, cough cough Nissan, they started exporting to many other countries, which in turn gives them what they need to start Japan's first ever mass production plant for cars. And that exact same day, the Datsun Model 14 rolls off the assembly line as Japan's first ever mass produced car, which is pretty damn sick, man, not gonna lie. Like, think about it, man. There are so many mass-produced Japanese cars. The Civic, the Camry, all these cars are, even the Nissan like Altima and Sentra are all mass-produced cars, and Nissan was the first one to do it in Japan. So thank you, Nissan. Anyway, Datsun then kills the competition, being the first company to be able to mass-produce cars. That kind of gives them a head start, and they use that start to build one of the most legendary lines of JDM cars to ever exist, arguably the most legendary line, the Nissan Skyline, which was produced in 1957. At the time, the Nissan Skyline wasn't anything special. It was a little bit more classy and a little bit more quick than your average car in Japan, but nothing really crazy. It wasn't breaking any records. But then in 1959, the first Datsun was sold in America, and it was actually a Datsun pickup. Pretty cool. I don't know, just wanted to put that out there. Thought it was necessary. But it wouldn't be until 1960 that Nissan would get their actual first seat in America when they opened up the Nissan Motor Corporation that was in California. In that same exact year, 1960, Nissan's first ever actual quote-unquote sports car would go on sale, called the SPL 201. This was obviously a huge change for Nissan because after going to America and collecting all these funds from all these investors over the years, they got a taste for what speed feels like. And let me tell you, these guys over in freaking Nissan, they fell in love with speed like a freaking high school kid with jewel pods. After, it was insane. The 60s were a huge moment in history for Nissan. They would build the Fairlady 1200 Roadster in 1961. They built the 2000 Roadster in 1967, which is arguably Nissan's most desired sports car for collectors. Every collector wants one of these cars. They would also build their first car that was designed specifically for the American market, the Datsun 510 in 1968, and they made the Datsun 240Z, which started one of my personal favorite sports car lines to this day. It was such a beautiful car, dude, the Datsun 240Z, and it was cheap and reliable and still fast with 2 seats at the time, which was awesome, and it really just crushed the competition when it came out. It was a great car. But most importantly, though, in 1968, they would start a line of sports cars that everybody knows and loves today, and they didn't even know that they did it. The Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR was technically the first Nissan GTR ever built, but it wasn't meant to go that way. It was just another one of Nissan's pushes to get a car to be fast again, and they took their boring little Nissan Skyline as the chassis to build it on. Little did they know the success that the car would have. With the Datsun 510, the Skyline 2000 GTR, and the 240Z, that all proved that Nissan was not a joke when it came to building sports cars, and when they took them to races, they proved that even more. In 1971 alone, they would bring home the SCCA Trans Am 2.5 Championship. Don't even know what that is, but they won it. They won the American Rally Championship and the East African Safari. All of that in 1 year. That's pretty damn impressive, Nissan. Good job. They were freaking killing it. Sales were good too. In 1973, they sold their 1 millionth vehicle to the American market and had passed every other import company in terms of, well, importing in 1975, with 335,000 models being sold in the American market alone, just barely beating Toyota by only an 8,000 model difference. But they still won, babies, so screw you, Toyota. They also made the second generation Skyline GTR, but unfortunately, due to the oil crisis, it only made a measly 197 units. It's kind of sad. But with the 510, the 240Z, the GTR, and even the next generation of the Z car, the 280ZX, winning them races, they could focus even more on branching out to the good old American market, since, well, right now, we weren't really doing too well over there in America during the oil crisis because, you know, we were having these big gas-guzzling V8s, and we wanted some inline fours, all right, to save some money. And Datsun knew that, and they made a ton of these little tiny commuter cars to be sold in America during the 70s. And it was so successful that in 1983, Datsun officially changed their name to Nissan, and they brought all of their operations to the United States. In 1989, Nissan built their most iconic car to date, in my personal opinion. The Nissan Skyline GTR R32 was the first true quote-unquote GTR. It was powered by an RB26 that made 276 horsepower, or so they claim. Cough, cough, gentleman's agreement. Cough, cough. If you don't know what that is, look it up. The car also had 4-wheel steering, insane tuning potential, especially for the 80s, and an amazing all-wheel drive platform. This car went on to win them incredible, so many freaking races that it's literally like impossible to list them all here. But that wasn't all that Nissan did during the 80s, buddy. No, sirree, Bob. They were doing other things. They made their first Nissan pickup truck for the American market, appropriately named the Nissan Pickup. Whoever came up with that is a smart man. They also made the first Sentra in 1985, and they made the next Nissan Z car, the 300ZX Z31, in 1984. Later, as we all know, they would change the design and fine-tune the motor a little bit more in the 300ZX to make the most legendary Z car ever built, the 300ZX Z32.
So I'm having this dream. I'm in a turbo Z. And these guys are after me.
The year was 1990, and Nissan was still doing what they did best, exceeding expectations and wiring issues. Probably Nissan, I love you, but fix your damn wiring, please, because it's a nightmare. And I hate working on my car when it's got these terrible wires. Like, what are you thinking? The 90s were another great time for Nissan. It's like these guys didn't have a bad time. In 1991, they won some stupid, meaningless award for being clean or something. I don't really care. They also sold their 2 millionth Sentra in 1992. In that same year, made the first ever Nissan Altima. Once again, boring. I don't care. But the reason why I'm even telling you this is because even though these cars to us are boring, these cars are what makes companies all the money so they can afford to build these insane sports cars. So real quick, give a round of applause to the Nissan Sentra and Altima. Good job being boring so that boring people can buy you so that we get all the cool cars. Because even though, yes, the Altima and the Sentra are some boring highlights of the 90s, it wasn't all boring during the 90s. They did build some very good sports cars. They made the next generation of GTR, the R33, and even though this one was widely regarded as the ugly duckling of the GTR line, it did improve and win them the races that they were looking for. They also made the legendary S-chassis line of cars with cars like the S13, S14, and S15, which trust me, I do want to cover more on. But we're kind of running out of time. I don't want this video to be incredibly long. And to be honest with you, they really aren't that important for the history of Nissan. They didn't really do too much for Nissan itself. But most importantly, out of all those great cars that Nissan built during the 90s, there's one that stands miles above the rest.
名車と呼ばれ、歴史に名を刻む車たちはいかなる走行状況であっても必ず
The Nissan Skyline GTR R34 is easily, hands down, Nissan's most famous car they have ever built. This car is, yes, incredibly overhyped, and people who don't know nothing about cars knows about this car. And that's a very hard thing to do for a car that was never even sold here, okay? If there's like everybody around you talking about a car that we didn't even get in America, that's impressive. It still was advertised as only making 276 horsepower, but people speculate that it's much higher. The RB26 was even better, and they only improved on the handling. It was racing against Ferraris and Lamborghinis at the time, and winning. That is nuts. That's crazy. It's a freaking little Nissan coupe car, but it was winning against Ferraris and Lambos. But I still don't think it deserves the hype it gets. I'm sorry, I just want to put it out there real quick. I know it's not about my personal opinion, but I just wanted to say it. Next were the 2000s. And to be honest with you, the 2000s were a bit boring for Nissan compared to their history. Yes, they did make the 350Z in 2003, which is my car, and it's one of my favorite cars. And yes, towards the ends of the 2000s, they ditched the 350Z, and they made the first ever GTR to be sold in America. Yes, that's right. We finally were able to buy a GTR, and it's the one that we all know and love, the R35, which would finally ditch the RB26 for something more modern. But besides those two, everything else just kind of felt like they were trying to appeal to the world changing and not caring about speed anymore. And it kind of sucks. In 2010, they've actually launched the R35 GTR and the 370Z to replace the 350Z. Yes, two cars in the same year. It was freaking awesome, man. We gotta love it. And both were very good cars. Just want to put it out there. They held up to their respected predecessors. Like, they were like, you know what? It's not like you hop in a 370Z and you're like, yeah, this doesn't feel like a 240Z though. Like, it is a Z car, you know? And same with the GTR. Like the R35, it's still a GTR, you know? It's more modern, but it's still a GTR. Yes, after they made these two cars, they kind of took like a very long break from sports cars, and it doesn't seem like it was getting much better from there. Yes, they have the Nissan 400Z coming out very soon, but that is after a very, very long 14-year wait between the 370Z and 400Z, and the R35 GTR is being discontinued next year as well, once again after a very long 14-year wait. We don't know yet if they're going to be making an R36. Chances are they are, but we are not 100% sure. And if they don't, they only have one sports car left, and it's just getting sad, man. Okay, Nissan's dying, and I don't want them to die. But during the 2010s, Nissan really started caring more about selling cars than going fast, probably because of, you know, the financial troubles that they were in. Little touchy part of history there for Nissan. And unfortunately, though, car guys suffered from all of that, at least here in America. I blame it on pretty much the Nissan Leaf and the Nissan Juke. If they never were built, we'd probably have the R36 by now, okay? Just want to put it out there. Whoever decided that those were good cars, you killed Nissan, okay? So thank you. Thanks a lot for killing Nissan, buddy. But that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, guys, please realize that there are probably a lot of parts of Nissan's history that I missed here. I am literally only one guy doing this after getting off of work, after working on my 350Z, and still trying to make a video for you guys every day. It takes a lot of time and effort, and it was very tough to make, so please cut me a little bit of slack if, like, my script isn't the best, or if I messed up a couple of things here and there, and just let me know in the comments. Don't, just be like, hey, this is the actual truth about what you said about this thing, just thought everybody else to know, and I will definitely, support that comment. But if you're hating on me, I'm not going to support it, buddy. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I already said that. Das Vidania. Have a nice night.